And again, playing with guided imagery today. I find this easiest to do if you first convince the nervous system that you are in fact safe to travel inward, to let go of the diabetes dialogue, the to-dos. So go ahead and whatever fashion feels best, whether that's doing the 360 degrees, looking around, whether that's the nice big inhales and audible exhalations. Might involve rolling through some joints, maybe even a shaking or a sounding to convince the nervous system that you can, in fact, relax into this guided imagery. And as that sound fades, see if the eyes can close, or at least drop the gaze, let the eyelids get droopy, so that the attention turns inward in an attempt to find your breath. Tip of the nose, center of the throat, center of the chest. Find breath now as it breathes the body, as it fuels this life. Noticing how your body, your mind, your spirit responds to breath. Considering if you can in fact relax as you become aware of breath cycles, or if tuning the attention to breath creates some sort of urgency or agency. Just taking inventory of the mind stuff, considering if your thoughts move like a moth to a flame towards breath, or if they scatter like the wind, or maybe hover like a plume of smoke. Do you feel at ease when asked to anchor your attention on the breath? Or is this practice difficult? Fiery, even? There is no right or wrong, but before we begin to play with the element of heat, of fire, let us take a moment to build a foundation of sorts, perhaps even a hearth. At the bottom of the next exhalation, I invite you to practice 4 square breathing with me. So counting as you next inhale for a count of 4, holding for 4, exhaling for 4, holding for 4. Continuing. To count and breathe in this way. Each inhalation and exhalation equal in length, surrounded with a pause. And as you continue, begin to imagine that with every count of 4, you're given a stone, a brick, to build a fireplace, a hearth. Four square breathing helps you build the 4 sides of your marvelous fire pit. place. Ring. Now. As you build it, you might consider what room you would like this to take place in. Perhaps the fire is going to be built outside, and you are in fact surrounded by nature. Or maybe it feels better to build this fireplace right here in a home, in a room, a den, a place that brings you comfort, real or imagined, a place where you are at peace to make and experience fire. And with this cleared space in front of you, lined with solid stone of sorts, it's time to collect kindling for your very own fire. So take a step back and begin to take note of your internal inventory. Consider the terrain of your inner landscape. As you look for kindling, consider, is it sparse or dense? Is the mind filled with dry grass and leaves? Things that no longer serve a purpose or have fallen from the branches overhead? Perhaps you're aware of thoughts, physical discomfort, emotional distress that exists more like sticks, twigs, sharp but brittle objects. Collect them. Maybe instead it just feels like you're weighted down today with some sort of big log, hard piece of wood, some sort of inner obstacle. Gather it all up now as you place that which gets in the way, that which detracts from this practice, into the hearth in front of you now. A natural force of nature, Mother Earth has called upon fire to clear out overgrown forest floors and canopies, removing low-growing underbrush, killing back invasive species, nourishing the soil, while opening up the overstory to sunlight and new growth. Fire, too, has been used by humans for clearing land, generating heat, for sustenance by way of cooking, for signaling in times of need, in rituals, for purposes of cremation, and to simply illuminate a room, a road, a written text. Let your mind imagine all of the ways that fire is made and exists in your life, in the lives of humans at large. Let us make fire now for whatever purpose it might serve you today. See yourself beginning to pace the perimeter of your fireplace now. And as you consider how you'd like to turn the contents before you into flame, think about your options. Flint and steel, perhaps. A book of matches from a cherished location. Trusty lighter that you always keep in the glove compartment. Or maybe this simple command from sky above to hearth below that allows for a single lightning bolt to strike and ignite the tinder in front of you. Feel the warmth of the fire on the cheeks as you look into now flames. First small, catching then onto larger items as colors begin to dance and shift in shape right before you. Reds, orange, blue, yellow, white. Made even more profound by the black body radiation from soot and steam that pools around the flames. Let anything that gets in the way of this become tinder for the fire itself. Instead of holding on to the past, to some idea of what the future should be like, to unhelpful thinking patterns or limiting beliefs. Let it all go into the fire now. Set yourself free. Let that which no longer serves you sizzle, pop, and smolder. And let that which bonds you to it inwardly melt now like honey in hot tea. Let it all dissolve. Let it all burn away. And as it does, consider where you'd like to position yourself. Maybe it's right in front of the fire. Maybe that heat on your face feels good. Or maybe it's farther back in a chair, more comfortable for viewing. Or maybe still this fire invites you to dance. Dancing circles, dancing life. Just like the flames, as they dance and reach upward to the sky above. Feel bliss now. Feel all of the obstacles to bliss as they burn up, smoldering into the smoke, rising above. Feel bliss as it radiates from the heart center, as if another flame were lit within. Invite bliss here and now, just as we are inviting an ending to that which we no longer need. As fire turns to ash, and ash replenishes the soil in turn. Lingering for a moment longer with the option to put this fire formally out, perhaps with a bucket of water, a fire blanket, a shovel, and some dirt. Put out your fire, taking a final deep inhalation in together. And with an exhalation, let the chin bow towards the chest, but keep the eyes closed for just a moment longer in honor of self for showing up today, for continuing to let our mental movies serve a purpose. When this feels complete, you might let the eyes open away from a screen, transitioning back for just a moment